it's obviously there were things that went well and there's things that didn't go well, but probably one of those games, almost like Wales in 2018, that you learned lots more from this game than what the result probably was.
No, Bren, I think you spot on there. If you win and you learn, it's much nicer than when you lose and you win. And I guess there was a stage since 2018 when we were losing, when we had to learn from who can do it, who still needs some work at this level. And then, you play a team. I think if you take the Scotland team, and this is not at all to make our performance better, but we knew when they flew over and the way they smashed Argentina, they beat England, they beat France, they played in February still together, and this team, there was 12 guys who's got 10 caps and less, half of the team. So cohesion would always be a problem. That you could see in the defense when we made some subs at the end. Obviously there's a lot of guys that we did not play in this game and a lot of guys injured. So yes, we learned a lot of some players, not that they're not good enough. There's lots of work to do on that. I think the only guys that was missing from Scotland here was probably Blair Kingon. And Jordan, I think, is a brilliant player. And then maybe Hugh Jones. Well, otherwise, I think this is a team who's 4th in the world, and we beat France and we beat England. And I think this is the test which some of the guys needed. Not a tier 2 nation where they've got 3 or 4 caps. A tier 1 nation that's really, really a class team.
Rassie, it felt like in that second half that you were obviously having to play to win because you were under pressure, but it felt like you were still sort of like in a sort of experimental mode even then. I mean, for instance, you maybe can explain, Keon, for instance, could have come on at fullback and then you wouldn't have had so much disruption.
Yeah.
Do you specifically want to see that combination of players?
Yeah, sometimes we must put our personal goals or how many games we've won in a row, or even this championship on the line to know who can do what. And if you don't make those calls, you would never know. And when do you do it? You're always going to wait till you play a team that's not of this caliber, because I think they're a great team. And that's how you find out. There's tense, it's pressure, there's a crowd that pay tickets who want to watch this game. They don't know maybe all the players even that so well. They're not settled test match players. So for those guys to feel the crowd going quiet when it's going not that well, they must handle that kind of pressure. We in the coaches box must handle that. So yes, I think that's the only way that we can ever learn.
I'd like to know, obviously becoming the most capped coach, when you took over the role a few years ago, even though you changed the game, what is 1 or 2 things you think that changed in the last few years that was like unprecedented?
Well, I said it last time. It's South Africa believing in the team and the team believing in South Africa. And I mean, the crowd could have gone against us with those easy tries that we gave away, but there's a few players who hasn't done it against this level. And I feel, I don't think the crowd was happy at the end, but I think South Africa understand what we tried to do in this specific game. In the past, I feel if we made 4 changes, it was like, what are you doing? You're dropping this guy, not giving this guy a chance. And I feel the interaction between us and the supporters through you guys is they understand what we're trying to do. And I know if we lose, the knives will be out. But I feel there's a togetherness when people know what we're trying to do. And so I think that's something that definitely changed. I think the fans or the supporters understand more or less what we're trying to do. Obviously, if we lose, then the knives will be out. But then, I don't want to, I think I don't want to name other things. For me, that's the most important thing. If we lost this game, I think there will be some of the crowd that still understood what we're trying to do, but luckily we won.
Rassie, we're having flashbacks to Bloemfontein, and I think it was 2022 when you had that revamped team from the winner, Victoria, and you lost that game to Wales, and everyone was like, oh, what's going on? And then you went off to win the World Cup. Is that pretty much what you were trying to do with this game?
Yes, it's those 12 guys, and then there was others, there's another 5 at that 20 or less cap. So I'm not trying to butter up the performance. We can wait till we play, and the Georgians will kill me if I said, but we can wait till we play Georgia. And then a guy told us pretty well. But you're not sure of the intensity and the team that beat England and beat France. And they beat Argentina in Argentina last week, So we thought, I know the English is going to be upset, but we thought they're going to be tougher than the English because they beat England and they've got no guys except Kingon and Hugh Jones who didn't play. So, now we know some guys needs a lot of work to stay in and some guys made it, It's unfortunate a guy like Ethan, I mean, his mouth got pinged. And if there wasn't a head knock with him, and to only go with a 6-2 split, and Kanan withdrew, and then Ethan went off, but then Andre went to 12. And as I understand, he got man of the match, and we've been training with Andre at 12 for the last 4 weeks, so we got to answer there as well. Yeah, that's what we were trying to do.
Rassie, can you give clarity on the withdrawal of Kanan?
Yeah, Kanan was not feeling that well during the week, and then on Friday, he trained pretty well, but then also he had a bit of a stiff hammy. No, it wasn't dangerous. It wasn't like if we played him, he was going to pull it, but he was a little bit off ill-wise, a little bit of fever and stuff, and then also he got the hamstring, and we were, what's his name? Who's the plater? Ethan was fully fit, and we just thought, with this game, is Ethan get 80 under his belt here, maybe next week another 80, then Argentina, and then when we strike, obviously New Zealand, he's got 3-4 games under his belt, and Kanan has played the whole season. Yeah, so that's what happened there.
Was there ever a stage that you as a leader with this current squad got any nervous, or were you always confident that you guys would stay in this match?
Yeah, we knew before the game it was going to be a tough game, especially it might be 14-all as well. So we sort of prepared for it and then definitely knew it was going to be a tough game. So we've got, like I said last time, we've got the system. And for us as players, it's just to believe in the system and to go according to the plan that we have. And then we came in half-time, we said, listen, there's some stuff we need to work on, and we worked on it. Especially on the line speed on defense is something we struggled a lot in the first half. And then, of course, there were some holes we left open and towards the end of the game, but that's stuff we need to fix. There's always pressure and there's always stuff that you can fix. But for me, as a player, I just try to stay in the now and stay with control what we can control as players on the field.
With such key changes so early, what were you trying to see from those changes?
Yeah, we were thinking of making some changes. We've got 3 loose heads, and Jan can play hooker and loose head. So Bourne hasn't played a lot of rugby the last 4 or 5 weeks. So, we thought Bourne can maybe go 30, 35 minutes. And then we thought maybe of subbing Bourne just before halftime, because then you get a prop on. He plays 5 minutes, you got 10 minutes to rest, you play another 5 minutes. So that was more or less the plan, but then Bourne hang really in there. And then we were said, well, let's get Bourne another 4, 5, 7 minutes, him and Wilco, because they're fresh. If they rest halftime, they're fresh. The rest 15 or 10 minutes, I'm not even sure. But they rest halftime, and then you can go another 5, 6 minutes. But then they actually scored, and we went down with the yellow card still, I think, the yellow card. And then if you have a yellow card, then suddenly you've got Zach on, and you've got Jan Hendrik on at hooker, and Grobbies was still pretty fresh. So now you've put Zach and Jan Hendrik on, and Elrich on, and Ben Jason on, because you have to cover for 14. Only 14 men on the field, so we feel we needed some wheels in those minutes when we got that, or there was a few minutes left of the card or something like that. That was the reasoning behind that.
Guys, vloggers of alsjeblieft. And then can...
How do you keep rugby remaining the
No, I think you guys maybe say I'm saying this so it sounds cool. It's if we start getting a losing culture, we won't have a crowd like this. And I know it wasn't maybe fully sold out, but I've been here when there wasn't a lot of people. So what keeps us going, all of us, is not me, all of us, is listen, how South Africa understand us and us understand South Africa. And it's not something I just say. I'm trying to answer the question, I promise you. So no, the other things, it's nice. It's nice to hear. Everybody wants a tap on the shoulder, but that's definitely not the thing. To see these guys look each other in the eye and say, hey, we beat number 4. I'm not sure if they're 4 and 5 in the world. We beat them. They beat Argentina last week. Boys, we played with a team that's disjointed, that hasn't played together again in a lot of combinations. And that probably answers your second question. Why those things happen? Because there's some guys who's just never played at this level with the guys who play next to them. And Scotland is a team with Finn Russell at 10 and a brilliant back line and a pack of forwards that's played Six Nations 4 months ago. So yeah, those errors, I think it's fixable. Would have been disastrous if we lost, and then we have to fix those things. That's not lekker.
Coach, considering what has happened now in this match and looking forward towards Wales, what can the South African rugby-loving public expect for the Welsh clash? Are you going to experiment there as well, or are you going to return to a more...
I do the, yeah, it's a valid question. It's a bit of a combination. We'll probably pick some. I mean, when you walk out today and you see Ox there, and you see Malcolm there, and you see Eben there, and you see Sia there, and you see Loot there, and you see Sous there, and you see Jacobus Reinach there, and you think about Sasha, and you see Mani there, and Damien de Allende there, and you see Cheslin there, and you see Kirtley there, and you see Kanan there, and you see a lot of guys who's still outside, who's coming back, Mornay and those guys. You know, oh, we're taking a chance today. Not because the guys are not good enough, because they haven't played together. So next week will probably be some guys who return to fitness. I don't understand the Ethan Hooker concussion, really. I don't understand it. We didn't see incident and the guy's mouth got pinked. So hopefully I think he will be cleared. So to get Ethan through another couple of minutes, maybe give Jesse a rest. We'll see. Kanan might be full fitness. Maybe Kanan switch in at 13. We'll probably for next week Monday get Sasha into the group because he might be ready for Argentina or after Argentina for New Zealand. You know, Krappies, Morne van der Berg is really close to full fitness. And then a guy like Sia might be ready. Loot hopefully is ready. So it will be a combination of some guys coming back from injury and making sure we have more caps in our position when we run into the field, because today we were totally outnumbered by caps and experience.
Okay, Afrikaans.
Ja, kan Gavin, Rassie kan antwoord in Afrikaans. Rassie, just mentioned Andre Pollard going to 12, but how happy were you that he played the full, well, just about 80 minutes, and kind of contributed all aspects of the game? He kicked all his kicks, he took the ball flat on attack at times, he was very good under the hard ball. Given the sort of struggles he's had this year, how pleased were you with his display?
A lot of players we're very happy for, because you know, as I said in the past, it's very met die Afrikaans antwoord, ekskuus. Dis baie moeilik om spelers altyd te waardeer wat hy by sy provinsie doen of sy franchise doen, want dit wat die franchise van ou verwag is miskien 'n bietjie anders as wat 'n mens by ons in ons span en ons stelsels en hoe ons dinge doen. Ek praat nie van die veld af, ek praat van 'n kicking system of 'n attacking system of 'n defensive system. Is baie anders. En Andre het hy was ons backup 12 in die game gewees en hy het op die ou en 12 toe te gaan nadat hulle vir Ethan afgehaal het. Maar ons wil ook gesien het wat kan Kean doen op 15 teen 'n baie goeie span. Ek weet Andre was man van die wedstryd en soos ons altyd sê, waar gaan hy nou ewe skielik op 31 'n swak speler word? So nie dat ek sê die Bulls se systems is nie goed nie, maar daar's als verskillende verwagtinge van 'n speler en verskillende stelsels. En ons voel Andre pas redelik goed in ons stelsel in en ek is baie bly vir hom dat hy goed gedoen het.
Met dit in gedagte, hoe groot was daai 7-man scrum 8 meter van die lyn dalk in die 50ste minuut?
Ja, dat is natuurlijk als het goed begin, 2 vinnige drieë gedruk en of nie vinnig nie, maar ja, 2 drieë gedruk in die eerste helfte wat vir ons goeie confidence gegee het en daarna het ons 'n bietjie foute gemaak. En natuurlijk die 7-man scrum, ek dink Daan gaan baie bly wees daaroor. Hy gaan trots wees aan. Maar ook daar was foute gewees in gedeeltes van die scrums voor dit gewees wat ons so lekker die hit kon kry nie. So natuurlijk is al soos Rassie sê, sal plekke wat ons moet aan werk, maar tans kan ons ook tevrede wees en ons is gelukkig en trots op die vertoning wat ons gegee het.
Die plaasvangerbank het net iets soos 69 toetse gehad, dus jy beïndruk hoe daai ouens die momentum teruggeswaai het vir die Bokke?
Ja, ek dink die manier wat Skotland speel is belangrik, want hulle is 'n span wat like van vinnig speel en bal wyd kry en weet Wilco is nie die vinnigste oor die veld nie, maar hy verseker skram hy baie goed en ek dink hy het vandag goed gedra en goed getackle ook, maar Zak is bietjie vinnig oor die veld en om toe Jan Hendrik Toeks en Boan af te wissel het baie gehelp. Grobbies kon lekker vasbyt tot diep in die game, so toe kon Jan Hendrik weer hakker verskuif. Ben Jason Kobus het bietjie van 'n ribbesering in die game gekry, so Ben Jason kon slot toe gaan, wat toe kry hy 'n geel kaart. Toe is ons bietjie weer onder die pomp. En ja, Evan, obviously is dit nog 'n step up vir Evan gewees, 'n toets teen 'n land wat regtig met intensity speel, so ek dink Elrich het goeie verskil daar gemaak. En natuurlik ek dink Ambrose het ook gevind seker dis bietjie 'n step up hierdie en hy het definitief gewys hy kan die step up maak, maar ons het bietjie meer leiding gesoek by ons 9 en 10. Nie 10 soos André spesifiek nie, maar ons wou André terug 12 toe skuif, so ons was tussen 2 minds wat ons daar wou doen, maar ons wil ook vir Kian sien. So ons het bietjie meer wiele op die veld gekort, ja.
Lionel Messi?
Rassie, baie geluk op die 55ste meneer. As jy tevrede met hoe die vertoning verloop het op hierdie mylpaal wedstryd meneer. En kan jy nog vir my sê meneer, wat is die situasie met Winston toe kan want ek het nie gehoor jy
Hy het concussion gehad.
Okay. As jy tevrede met hoe jou mylpaal wedstryd verloop het vandag meneer. Is dit verder om te sê jou span was behoorlik getoets vandag deur Skotland?
Ja, definitief Bussie. Ek dink sonder twyfel en dit is wat ons verwag het voor die tyd. En ek dink as jy vir hierdie span gesê het maandag of laasweek toe ons hulle al gekies het, hoor julle gaan nie baie caps hê nie. Die backline het eintlik meer caps gehad as die forwards. En julle gaan teen 'n span speel wat Argentinië gewen het en die skor gaan amper dieselfde wees as waarmee ons vir Engeland gewen het. En daar was 2 baie sagte drie wat ons wil gegee het. Ek dink met alle eerlikheid hulle voor hulle 4de 3 dinge was 'n clear knock-on agter die rak gewees sonder om moeilikheid te probeer kom. Wat ek hulle dink nie teruggegaan het en op die TMO gewys het nie. Maar hulle mis maar baie keer sulke goed soos hulle met ons ook mis. Maar overall nee, om te wen en te leer is great en ja, dis maar wat ons uit die game moet kry. Die mylpaal en daai goeie is manne wat 100 toetse speel en as ouens wat 50 toetse speel, so ja, dis nie so 'n groot ding vir ons nie.